Hey folks, hope you're doing good today, having a good Friday and all that jazz. Today we've got a new band on the channel. We've had new bands pretty much every single day this week. I hope you've been following along with them because I must say, we've had some dope music. That's not going to be any different today because the band that's come through today has come through from Perth, Australia. And every time I see a band come through from Australia, I just know they're going to be heavy as hell, super loud guitars and all the rest of it. And yes, that's what this band sounds like. Now, they made a T1 submission, which normally means I put them with a couple of other bands that sound similar. But because it's not headed towards Christmas and I'm feeling jolly, I thought, well, I'll give these guys their own video like we did to the guys yesterday and spin a couple of their tracks and see what it's all about. Get to know this band a bit more before the end of the year, because from next week, we're going to be doing roundup shows. And then next year, we can hopefully check them out a bit more and get to know them even more. This is a band called Sedative. The track that we're going to check out today is called, the first one I should say, is called Vile. They've got a cool video to go with it, full of a bunch of memes and stuff apparently, so let's check it out. Super heavy. Yeah. That bass. Yeah. Dope. Super loud. I'm going to need a shower after this bit. Loving the sound of the bass. Yeah. Dope. Now, I'm not sure if these guys are a two-man band, because we're only seeing the two of them in the video. Just have a quick look on their pages, see if that's true. No, looks like there's a bunch of them in the band, 5 of them. That was dope. These guys, I was checking as well, let me just get this off the screen for a second. I was checking, it does say who mixed and mastered this, Tom Cadden. And I'm going to say he's the 6th member of the band on this track, because the mix on this track really brought the music across in the way that it should. Super loud, super heavy, punchy as hell drums. The vocals sat in there nicely. And it was interesting as well how actually the track Normally these tracks are really very wide, and that's how you get the big guitar tone. But actually, when I was looking at the track, it wasn't all that wide on the stereo. So maybe that's as well how they got the big sound on this one. But yeah, this is super modern music because of the way it's mixed and recorded and the guitar tone that they're using, that bass tone in there as well. And there's something about that bass tone that just brings in a power and a low end, extra power to the guitars. I haven't quite figured it out for myself, so I'd love it if these kind of Tom Cadden, if he's got a YouTube channel, talks about how he does his bass tones and stuff, because that new school, I'll say, bass tone really makes a big difference to this kind of music. It just brings the low end power through. Without bringing in the muffliness and the kind of humming sound that you get with a bass. It's all do. Just sounds dope. So these guys are killing it. Super modern, super loud, super heavy, aggressive, chunky music. Dope. Let's check out another of their tracks. This one's from June. This one's called Cough Medicine. I noticed that they had a bunch of reactions from Hardcore Keem and all of that stuff. Now, unfortunately, I don't kind of dive around my room and start punching the walls and stuff like that. But yeah, if you get a nice grimace face out of me, you know you've done nicely. This one is called Cough Medicine. Let's give it a spin. There's that bass guitar again. Yeah. Loving the cymbal sound. Now this track is a bit wider than the last one. You can see this is pumped out pretty wide. It gives this kind of music just that big and wide sound. Such a punch to that guitar tone. This is violent music because it absolutely slaps you around the face listening to it. And again, I'm going to say part of that is due to the mix. You know, they've written the riffs and all the rest of it that sounds dope and heavy, but you could mix that and it wouldn't sound all that heavy. I'm going to have a look again who mixed this one, see if it's got the same dude. Modern Nihilism Records, it says on this one. So I'm not sure if that's the same dude, but whoever did it, if it's the same dude or not, did just as great a job because they captured what this music's about. And I'm going to say that the mixer is so important to this kind of music because it's so modern and it uses those modern guitar tones and just the way it's so loud and hits you across the ears. The mixer and the guy who does that for you is kind of the next member of the band as well, because he's bringing your sound out, he's bringing it across, and it is a lot to do with him as well, the way that it sounds, because this music is pumped up to the max, and if he hasn't balanced that out well, it's going to sound a mess. And this doesn't sound a mess. It sounds super loud and crisp. It's got a clarity to it. You could hear all the cymbal hits through it. I love what the drummer did in this second track because he had some nice blasting sections and broke it down, and also did nice little fills and trills in the beat, in the breakdowns, and tings on the ride and stuff like that, just to spice it up and make it interesting. And I love it when drummers do that. Super sick. Now, I just noticed these guys have only got 132 subscribers on their YouTube channel. They need way more than that because this is a quality band, sounding right, sounding modern. So if you want to check out the latest and dopest and heaviest bands, these guys are it. So get on board now, head over to their channels and like it and all the rest of it, because I tell you, this is the kind of music that you're going to start hearing more and more over the next kind of 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years, because it's the mixers nowadays are figuring this stuff out. Our good friend Alex does a great mix of it as well. I think he's in America. So, these guys are obviously working in Australia. So, the Australian guys always come loud and heavy and chunky with their music. And I do think that this kind of super heavy, I don't know what you'd quite call it, hardcore, it's a kind of version of hardcore metal, beatdown. It's got a bit of deathcore-iness to it as well. So yeah, it needs its own name, probably a new name to come out with it. But I do think you're going to start hearing a lot more of these super heavy, loud, but with a clarity, with that bass tone in the mix, because that makes a big difference to this sound. I'm on board with it. I think these kind of bands sound dope, and they've got a good energy. It's got a nice bounce in it. And I say, I like that in the second track, they brought in a bit more blast to it as well. If they can even bring in a bit more of a blackened edge to it, that's it. I'll be creaming over it to no end. So there you go. That's going to be one of the last bands that we get to check out this week, before we start doing the roundup shows, which I'm actually really looking forward to, and spinning a bunch of the great bands that we've had on this year. And we'll definitely check this band out more so in the new year, and try and get in some more followers and subscribers and all the rest of it, because a band this cool need way more than 132 people knowing about them. So there you go, guys. Hope you're having a good one. I'm winding down to the end of the year. I feel like that now. I'm really winding down. Anyway, we'll see you around, guys. Bye.